Hey guys, today we are revisiting the Flat Earth by looking at a video where this flat earther is listing the top 5 ridiculous claims that globeheads believe. Let's have a look, shall we?
Greetings and salutations all, it's Flat Earth Crush here, returning for yet another video to help determine which of the two Earths we in fact live upon.
That sounds fun, but you forgot a third option, and that is, the Earth is actually a cube. Also, come on, that music is a little overdramatic, don't you think?
I thought I'd humor you with the resulting top 5 list of the absolute most outrageous heliocentric views about our world that still retain the status quo. So you better hang on tight to your metaphorical South Pole there.
Wow, the South Pole doesn't exist because it'd be upside down. Genius! Fucking genius! I just wanna hit something because of how genius that was.
And genuinely begin the inevitable grieving process by starting to let go of all your own anachronistic, heliocentric, globe-tar views, just as a newly minted teenager might let go of all their childhood superstitions and myths, such as unicorns or phantom Loch Ness monsters.
Okay, that was written pretty well.
Number 5. Heliocentrists actually believe that empty space is a stretchable, bendable fabric that often tears and can expand or contract at multiples of the speed of light. The evidence supporting this fanciful, whimsical notion is understandably flimsy at best. Yet heliocentrists insist that this space is a vacuum containing absolutely nothing at all to stretch, bend, tear, expand, or contract.
Alright, I've never actually heard a flat earther bring up the fact that the universe is expanding. This is a first. So congratulations for actually knowing that this is a thing that is happening, I guess. Okay, so this is what we know. Because of the Doppler effect, we are able to see that the stars and galaxies are moving further away from us due to a redshift being observed. Of course, this expansion began way before humans were even around. The reason these stars and galaxies are moving further and further away is due to the expansion of space. Sure, empty space may not contain much, but that doesn't mean space itself cannot expand. King Crocodile made a great analogy during his debate with Kent Hovind, which I will share here. Imagine drawing some dots on a balloon to represent galaxies. The universe is sort of like this. As the balloon inflates, the surface area of the balloon is increasing. The galaxies are moving further apart from each other, but they themselves are not actually moving. That's how the space expansion of the universe works. And from what we observe, this speed of expansion is getting faster and faster, and will eventually become exponential. Eventually, all the stars in the sky will be moving further away from us faster than the speed of light, so we won't be able to see them anymore. Of course, that's a few billion years down the road, so we won't have time to witness it. Now, it's important to note that the stars aren't actually moving away from us faster than the speed of light. It's just that the space is expanding faster than the speed of light. I know this is hard to swallow, especially for someone who is scientifically illiterate. It's actually easy to find the math and the work behind this field of study on the internet, but to actually read through it and understand it is a whole different level, which is why you flat earthers will never get around to understanding this, because you lack the knowledge and critical thinking skills to do so. The second thing I want to mention is, if the heliocentric model is indeed wrong and people made up lies for it, why make up such an unbelievable lie? Why does the expanding universe make the globe Earth more believable in the first place? For what reason would anyone make this up?
Number 4. Despite several experiments proving that Earth itself is absolutely fixed and stationary.
Well, that's a lie. Jesus Christ, look at how long this section is. I'm going to cut out some of it to make it simpler.
Scientific experiments like Airy's failure, the James Bradley experiment, and several gyroscope experiments establishing the fact that is already steadfastly reinforced by one's own senses.
I'm so tired of flat earthers bringing up these experiments thinking they prove the earth is stationary. It's so dumb and I'm gonna lose my mind if I hear it one more time. Let's break it down one by one. Airy's experiment only proved that ether did not exist. A few decades ago, scientists believed that light needed a medium to travel through, and they coined the term ether for this medium. Airy proved that this ether was not real. His experiment had nothing to do with proving the earth to be stationary or whatnot. Next, you mentioned James Bradley. He is known for the discovery of the aberration of light, which is the phenomenon that the position of celestial objects seem to shift depending on the speed of the observer. You even have a diagram here that illustrates it quite well. Again, this discovery didn't prove the Earth is stationary, and it didn't prove the Earth is flat. Lastly, you mentioned gyroscopes. Now, to see the Earth spin using a gyroscope, you would have to be quite precise and have a good gyroscope at hand. There are plenty of YouTube videos where people show the Earth's rotation using a gyroscope, and I highly recommend checking them out.
The heliocentric model demands that everyone on Earth is simultaneously experiencing up to 1,525 feet per second directional acceleration, or approximately 1.36 times the speed of sound in an easterly direction, while also ascending or descending over 200 feet per second over an invisible curved surface, while concurrently revolving around the sun at just under 100,000 feet per second.
Okay, so that goes on for a while, I think we get the point. The reason we don't feel any of this is because the Earth is moving at a constant rate. We don't feel consistent motion. What we feel is acceleration. If the Earth stopped spinning, for example, then we would most certainly feel that. If the Earth suddenly stopped revolving around the sun, we would feel that as well. It's like when you sit in a car, you don't experience much when the vehicle is moving at the same speed. But when someone slams on the gas pedal or the brakes, you will most certainly feel that G-force. This is no different than when you're on the Earth. As long as the Earth's movement rate is constant, we aren't going to feel it.
Number 3. The globe demands that the Earth is at its closest proximity to the Sun during the winter solstice, an apparently freezing distance of 91,652,251 miles. Hence, this necessitates a further absurdity, in that the Earth must then be at its maximum distance from the Sun at summer solstice. Adding insult to injury, we're then told to believe that only a scarce couple thousand miles difference in axial tilt is all that stands between winter and summer within the northern and southern hemispheres. Go figure.
Well, this just shows your illiteracy. It's clearly not the fucking distance to the sun that determines the temperature differences of the seasons. Let's use the numbers you have given us. You said in your paragraph that there is a difference of 2.8 million miles between the seasons. Okay, now, the average distance from the Earth to the sun is about 93 million miles. Fucking miles. That means the Earth only moves 3% of its distance to the sun. That is hardly anything and won't do much to change temperatures. Now, of course, if you were to move to, let's say, the distance of Mars, then that would be significant. But 3% is practically nothing. What can make a difference is the Earth's tilt. Parts of the Earth that tilts towards the sun and receive its light at 90 degrees is going to be hotter than an area receiving sunlight at a greater angle. The primary reason is that at an angle, each unit of light has to cover a larger area of the Earth. This results in a sunlight intensity difference of way more than 3% between the summer and winters. Get your shit together and read a textbook.
And the second most ridiculous heliocentric belief is definitely the Big Bang, which posits that our entire universe not only came from absolutely nothing at all, but is actually expanding into nothing at all as well. It's not expanding into more space, scientists assure us, as all of the space lies within the universe. Doo-doo-doo.
I'm not an astrophysicist, so I'm not qualified to explain everything that theoretical scientists are saying. But yes, this is what's happening. The Big Bang is simply an expansion of the universe. It didn't come from absolutely nothing. From my understanding, there are a few possibilities that are being speculated on. My personal favorite is that the universe always existed and just goes through a period of contractions and expansions. The Big Bang, therefore, was simply one of these expansions that moved time forwards in two different directions. Crazy, I know. Another hypothesis I heard was quantum tunneling, where many small particles would appear at the same time. Of course, this is something that theoretical physicists are still trying to work out. You, as someone who denies basic science, should stop putting words in our mouths and making claims about what our model says.
The globe model absolutely insists that you believe in an invisible force called gravity. Gravity is responsible for holding trillions of tons of ocean water into a massive, upside-down, convex arc and magically adheres it to the bottom of an immense pear-shaped sphere.
I tried explaining gravity to flat earthers. I really did, but they just don't seem to get it. Gravity is a force that all bodies of mass have, whether it is the phone you're holding or your body even. The thing is, gravity is a very weak force. However, because the Earth is so massive, it has a noticeable influence on us. 9.8 meters per second per second. That's how everything is being held on the Earth's surface. The Sun, meanwhile, has a greater mass, therefore it has a greater gravitational acceleration.
It's an invisible force that cannot be reproduced, verified, or measured in any lab experiments, let alone repeatable experiments. An unseen, mystical force that can actually do anything and everything you ever imagined or wanted, except, of course, stop bumblebees, butterflies, birds, balloons, dandelion scenes, and million-pound cumulus clouds from ever leaving this whizzing, fruit-shaped planet's surface.
That's because birds and butterflies have wings that allow them to propel themselves upwards. Gravity affects everything on the Earth. Those items you named aren't exceptions. But gravity is only a force, meaning if you can introduce a greater force that overcomes gravity, then you can fly in the air. Rockets, for example, exert tons of force to get itself out of the Earth's atmosphere. Birds use its wings to overcome gravity. Balloons are propelled upwards by the low density of helium. It's not that gravity is selective, you dumb fuck. It's that certain things have forces that allow it to overcome gravity.
Isn't scientism fun? And because it's scientism,
All you need is absolute faith.
I was going to say something nice, but I don't feel like it anymore. Anyway, that's my time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.